Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's me. I'm back. Today's YouTube video is gonna be Madonna, Madonna versus Lady Gaga. Now, what can I say that has not been said in this video? We're gonna talk about two female icons, two female legends, in their own respectable right. Now, Madonna was born, I think, between 1965 to 1975 is when Madonna was born. And she was in Detroit, Michigan. And she moved from Detroit, Michigan to New York City to become a dancer. Now, back in that day, they used words like belly dancer or club dancer, but you could say dancer. She went to theater art school in New York City. She graduated from high school, and then while attending college for a short period, then she found herself going to a theater academy, and in that theater academy, they had some dancing. She learned choreography, dance choreography, and she became a songwriter, and then she did some songs for other people, and then she got exposed to, music. And then she, by the time she turned 18 or 19 years old, she got discovered by an executive music producer, of course. And this guy was well respected, well known. This guy had signed two big major talents, and this guy almost signed Mariah Carey, but Mariah Carey signed with what's his name. And he decided to sign Madonna, and she did this thing called Material World, and entitled the song Material Girl, and that became a smash hit everywhere. She would tour all over the world, and then she did her LP album, which, had about maybe 5, maybe 10 songs. And then she did her actual studio album, which was like a version, and that became a smash hit, and radios was playing it back to back to back. From 100 copies to 1,000 to 100,000 copies to almost 1,000,000 copies. I mean, that's how Madonna was. This sexy, fine woman. And then she ran the table in the 1980s. In the 1980s, it was Whitney Houston, and Madonna just popped up on the scene. Then she did In Vogue. Seriously, In Vogue. She did that one music video where she on the freeway dancing, got on top of a car, and that was another hit. And then she actually did a movie soundtrack. First it was a book called Who's That Girl, and then she came in the studio and did that song Who's That Girl with the vocal tracks, and then she actually got to star in the movie, which is about a guy that's middle class from New York Times Square, Journal Wall Street, and he's supposed to fall in love with a woman of class, and instead he falls in love with a woman that's low class, that's wild and buck wild. She played in that and showed that she had the ability to act. So later in her future, she would be an actress, and then she would pop up in another movie, Dick Tracy, which was good. And then she did a soundtrack for the movie Dick Tracy. And these were all songs being played on the radio. At that time, VH1 and MTV had just popped up on cable in the 1980s. So it was perfect for Madonna's career. And at this point, she had a huge fan following. I mean, she done pop, pop rock, pop music. Then she done some rock music. She done some R&B. She did like 4 different genres of music, to see what was a good fit. She had in the beginning, she had a nice hardcore, edgy rock style to her. Then when she matured at the age of 22 to 23, she wanted to switch up and call herself the Material Girl, which took a life on its own. And of course, when she did that other song, In Vogue, about sexuality, and it doesn't matter, if you're black or white, it doesn't matter if you're gay or bisexual, that turned into a smash hit. And of course, she had her political views in her music career. And then, of course, by the time we got to the late 80s, early 1990s, she had already done like 4 albums She had done 4 albums and she was now 24 going on 25. And for shock value, she dated Tupac Shakur. Yeah, she dated Tupac. See, a lot of people always bring up Tupac and Notorious B.I.G.'s baby mama, but yeah, she dated Tupac for about a year, and then it fell apart right up to when he went to jail. Yeah, he got arrested, and that was the end of that. And then she dated Dennis Rodman, which is why she broke it with Tupac and went with Dennis Rodman, and she entertained the idea of doing some songs with Dennis, and try to help Dennis out with his basketball career, which this is all legendary stuff, by the way. Finally, she put out an album in 1990. She did another soundtrack when she dated Antonio Banderas, which had her play the lead character, which was based off of a book. And it was a good movie. The movie got #1 at the box office, and again, it showed she could be an actress. So she dominated the 1980s. She dominated the 1990s, and then by the time she, got into the 2000s, she was like 41, 42 years old, and at that point, she had done like 9 albums. And then her sound of music changed a total of 7 to 8 times. And of course, she popped up and did James Bond soundtrack, Die Another Day, which was her best song by far. And then she had a surprise movie cameo in the movie, which shocked the hell out of everybody. She popped up in a James Bond movie. So again, it showed that even in her 40s, she had superstar power. She had a strong following. She was doing television. She was doing film. She would, they were trying to get her on America's Got Talent. Do You Think You Can Dance? American Idol. She had her pick of which TV talk show she could pop up on. And by the late 2000s, they had a Super Bowl. You've seen it, where she kissed, Nicki Minaj and Rihanna. Yeah, she kissed those two at a Super Bowl. Before that, in the early 2000s, she did that with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. And you see, she's become this folktale hero because, after her, there's Britney Spears, there's Christina Aguilera, there's Rihanna, there's Nicki Minaj, and then there's the one person that everyone is trying to compare to Madonna, Lady Gaga. She even managed to do some songs with big time artists. She did collaborations. She kind of got to do some songs with people, not Michael Jackson and not Prince, but there was someone on that same level where she did songs with those types of people. And then she did songs with a Britney Spears, a Christina Aguilera. She would do a song here or there with Rihanna and Nicki Minaj and duets at live concerts. And people thought about what happens if she and Lady Gaga would pop up. There's Katy Perry. She, popped up and, did a song with her. So basically, they all look up to her as, the person who broke through and said it's okay to be weird, strange, and different, and have your own identity and still be a powerful force. Of course, she even done songs with male artists, like Drake. There was that thing with Drake on stage, so, and you see she's done like 12 to 13 albums in 3 decades. To have a female artist in 3 decades put out 12 to 13 albums is unheard of. Nobody in the history of music does that. And Madonna's in her 60s still going strong. Now, the only thing with Madonna is that for me, I liked her first 6 or 7 albums, all the way up to when she died Another Day. I thought that was by her best. These last 4 albums she put out in the late 2000s, I've listened to the songs. They're good. There's a good sound. They're good rah-rah club music at this point, but it's like it ain't the same Madonna. And that's because she's in her 60s, and, at some point, the passing of the torch must be passed. Then there's her political views, and I feel like her political views hurt her music career. Because you talk about, I'm going to blow up the White House, I'm gonna take out Donald Trump. You know, FBI gotta come to your house. CIA gotta call you and tell you to calm down. I mean, so you could tell that this woman has been in the game for so long that she don't want no one to take her spot. And I get it. You know, when you get called the queen of pop music, you don't want no one to take your spot. You know, people, there were even talks about her doing something with Beyonce, but it never jumped off. And then you hear that's just rumors. They would people would talk about what about Mariah Carey, and there would be a certain level of arrogance there where she'll go, I'm better than Beyonce, I'm better than Mariah Carey. And then people would get seriously angry and offended by that. So the fan base is kind of iffy right now with Madonna. They kind of turned on her. One minute they come back to her when she play her old music from 2 decades ago. When she plays her new music, they turn against her. So it's iffy with Madonna as of right now. So, and plus she likes to give back to the community. She likes to go to foreign countries and give speeches, women empowerment. There's nothing wrong with that. Gotta have female superheroes. So, and like I said, she's done movie soundtracks. So that's Madonna for you. Still rocking and, rocking her head and still there. Now we have this young and upcoming talent who resurfaced, who showed up in 2002, early 2003. And before she was called Lady Gaga, she was just a girl on stage doing random songs of random artists of the past. And she had this other girl she with, which was El Paparazzi. And this girl was born and raised in all of New York City. Now, nobody knew who the hell she was until we heard a R&B artist named Akon. Smack that, give me some more. Hit that, give me some more. Oh. Discovered her, and next thing you know, Lady Gaga is born. She made Bad Romance, Paparazzi, I Was Born This Way. I mean, she came out with hit after hit after hit after hit. And this is just one album. Platinum overnight, double platinum, triple platinum. You're like, God damn. You're like, who the hell is this Lady Gaga? Like, she weird, she's strange, but her sound of music is so unique. It ain't nothing that we've never heard before. And for her to come into the late 2000s and just dominate the late 2000s like nobody's business, it's like, oh shit. And I would listen to all of Lady Gaga's songs. Actually became a fan of Lady Gaga. Right off the bat, I became a fan. Like, I couldn't stop nodding my head to Bad Romance. That's how fucking good the song was. And then she did songs with Katy Perry. She would do songs with Nicki Minaj, Rihanna. She would do collaborations. What blew me the fuck away was she did a song with Marilyn Manson. I mean, to only have put one album out, and they get a phone call from him and saying, I want to do a song with you. That's like, fuck. You only had one album, and here comes Marilyn Manson saying, hey, you're so badass, you're so fucking cool, how about we do a song together? And then she put out her second album, and she put out a third album. So then in 5 years, she put out 3 albums. And by the time we got to like around 2012, 2013, she put out her Monster Tour, Monster Ball, or whatever you call it. And then she had 4 albums. And then she got into the movies. And to me, when she popped up on American Horror Story, it had by far the hugest, largest ratings ever recorded in television history. I mean, she got on the same level as fucking Marilyn Monroe. I mean, it was unheard of to just take a talent, throw them on TV, and just let the audience watch. Like, goddamn, Lady Gaga, you got power like that? Like, goddamn. And then, of course, she did, the sequel to, what's that movie with Danny DeToro? Machete 2, she popped up in that. So she popped up in Sin City 2 as well, which shocked the hell out of me. She popped up in 2 of Robert Rodriguez movies. And then she just currently did a movie this year with actor Bradley Cooper. And when she ride on that white horse in 2000, I think either 2013 or in 2014 or 2016, one of those 3 years, she ride that white horse, and then she got an not an Oscar but an Emmy award, a Golden Globe, and an Academy Award for Best Pop Music. Now, the fact that they compare Lady Gaga to Madonna is so obvious. It's always, we got to compare two people from two different time periods to each other. You know, if it's basketball, we just have to compare LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady, and Kevin Durant to Michael Jordan. If it's professional football, we just have to compare Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Russell Wilson, and Tom Brady to Joe Montana if it's professional football. And it's the same thing when it comes to music. We just have to compare every pop artist that comes out to Madonna. Now, to me, as of right now, who has a better edge? Now, Lady Gaga has already popped out like 5 or 6 albums in 10 years. You know, she's 32. You know, she came around in the early 2000s, took off in the late 2000s. So she's put out like 5 to 6 albums. And she's took a break from music, and she's focused on television and film. You know, and then she's also had her pick of television shows to pop up on. You know, and I'm pretty sure that at 32, she still has something left in the tank. You know, she always talked about the idea of doing a Super Bowl, but in outer space on a space shuttle. And if she do that, then I don't see who could outdo that. Like who could outdo that performance? I mean, some of the stuff she think about is out of this world. Now, Madonna, I like Madonna. I love the fuck out of Madonna. I like all her old music, but we can't help to deny that you're 60. You're not getting any younger. You're getting older, and it's not that you can retire from music. It's at some point the passing of the torch has to come. You know, Lady Gaga got wanted to kiss Britney Spears to do the passing of the torch. And as of right now, by a slight edge, just by a slight margin, I'm going to give it to Lady Gaga. So I know Lady Gaga fans will be jumping up like, yeah, you better get this video right or I'm going to kick your ass. And I know Madonna fans be like, I'm going to find out where you at and I'm going to blow up your house. Which I don't even have a house. But the point is, by a slight margin, I give it to Lady Gaga. So I hope you love this video. This was kind of a tough video to make. Until next time, you'll be surprised of the next 2 artists that pop up on my video. Until next time, peace.